Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Lisa, a personal finance expert and a certified financial planner who believes that wealthy people aren't just rich in dollars, but they are also rich in confidence. I think it is just as important, if not more important, to feel good about your finances as it is to have strong financial systems and habits. I think the worst thing in the world would be you build your income, you grow your net worth, but you still end up feeling unsure or insecure every time you open your bank app or look at your net worth or think about your financial future. That's why I don't just teach how to build wealth, like the practical steps on this channel. I also focus on how to build what I call big wealth energy. To me, that means having both the practical tools to manage your money well, but also the emotional confidence to trust your financial decisions, everything around your money mindset and your emotions as they relate to money. So in this video, I am going to share 10 habits that helped me build very real, very lasting financial confidence. Here's the truth. People who feel confident with money didn't get there all at once or overnight. That confidence has to build slowly through tiny, repeatable habits that feel doable. Even on a bad day, you want to be able to do these tiny habits because they lead to long-term change. So the list I'm covering in this video are small, low-effort shifts that are a lot easier to stick with than a massive financial overhaul of your money management system. So whether you're just starting out with your personal finances and building confidence with money, or you are rebuilding altogether, these habits are designed to meet you where you are. Let's start with the first category, which I call mindset habits. These mindset habits are meant to improve your money mindset, and because you improve your money mindset, your confidence is going to also grow as a result. Number one, name your financial goals out loud. So rather than saying,
I wish I had this or that much money, or thinking, I'm never going to have that, that's never going to be me.
I want you to say your goals clearly and confidently and out loud. If you can state what you want and what you will do out loud, it's going to make it more likely to happen, and that will in turn build your confidence. For example, I will build my net worth to 6 figures or 7 figures, or I will be out of debt soon. When you speak it, it'll give you power, and before you know it, you're going to start believing it more and more, which leads to confidence with your finances. Number two, celebrate your small wins. So when life starts to life and we're adulting and you got no time for anything, it's very, very easy to overlook all the progress you're making, all the things you're doing right. It's very easy to notice a big emergency expense or a spontaneous purchase, especially if you feel regret when you spend money. But it is a lot easier to forget that you constantly pay your bills on time, or you saved this much money last month, or you put this much into your 401k this month. If you can make it a regular habit to acknowledge all the good, small decisions you're making on a day-to-day basis, you are going to start reminding yourself that you are actually good with money, and that's how you're going to grow your confidence when it comes to your finances. Number three, talk about money with a friend. When you talk about money, I believe that it helps build your confidence, but it has to be with someone that you trust, that cares about you, that wants to support you. A lot of people avoid conversations about money because it's taboo and that's just how things are. Or it's a result of feeling shame, guilt, or feeling like they're going to be judged. These negative feelings stop people from talking about money. It definitely stopped me from talking about money for so many years. I never talked about how much I made or my ideas to start a new source of income. But if you can find a safe space to talk about money with a trusted person, it can change everything, because you're not just giving advice and taking advice from each other. It's also about practicing hearing yourself out loud. Like I said earlier, how you should state your financial goals out loud. It makes these things more real. Money is such a big part of our lives and touches everything we do. So it's almost silly that we can't talk about it. More people talk about their sex lives before they'll talk about money with their friends. If you can get to a place where you're talking more about money and it is just a normalized part of conversation, you're going to start building confidence about what you actually know about it and also what you can continue to learn about it. And that's how you're going to continue on your personal finance journey towards building wealth. Number 4, this is a big one and it's almost hard to stop doing this altogether, but stop comparing yourself to others. This is a small habit that you can do that if you just start noticing it and building an awareness anytime you're comparing yourself to someone else, you can check yourself. I want you to start focusing on your progress over perfection and focus on your journey as opposed to comparing it to someone else's. You have to remember that everybody starts with different resources, different opportunities, and also different challenges. One time I thought I had it really bad because in the same year that my dad passed away, I also had to get knee surgery because I tore my ACL. And I was not making a lot of money at that time, so I was already drowning in debt. I thought that like when it rains, it pours, like this is the worst ever. I have no money to deal with any of this stuff. Traveling to go be with family, missing time from work, having to get surgery and all the things surrounding that when I needed to be taken care of. But then I remembered about a friend of a friend who, similar to me, it felt like when it rained, it poured. Not only did they have a medical diagnosis that wasn't great, they also got laid off in the same time frame. I think it's easy to compare ourselves, and whether that's comparing ourselves and feeling like we don't have enough, or just the struggle Olympics, right? Who has the biggest challenges and the biggest struggles? It takes our focus away from what's really important, the progress that we're making and that we want to continue making when we get through these obstacles and challenges. So I just want to remind you that you shouldn't compare yourself to others, most notably if it is causing you any stress or causing you to doubt yourself. Truly, the best frame of reference is yourself. So on a practical level, this is kind of why I always talk about calculating your net worth so that you can see how your day-to-day decisions add up over time. Your net worth is going to go up and down on a daily basis, but if you track it today, check it in 6 months, check it in a year, you're going to start to see positive change over the long term if you are making those smart day-to-day smaller decisions. So if you really want to know how you're doing and whether or not you're behind or ahead, do it on your own journey. See how you stack up today compared to a year ago, and then look to the future to see how much you're going to grow and change 1 year, 5 years, 10 years into the future. And a quick shout out, if you have not heard yet, I have released my beginner personal finance course called Hello Money Bootcamp, where not only do you set a baseline by calculating your net worth, but you also set a baseline in tracking your financial confidence. Because not only do I want you to build your net worth over time, I want you to build your confidence with money over time as well. So the link will be in the description if that's something you want to check out. Number 5. Another mindset habit to improve your financial confidence is to rewrite bad narratives. We all have what we call money stories, which are these narratives we have in our head that describe our thoughts and feelings about money. Now, what creates those money stories are our individual pasts. Our mistakes, our beliefs, our experiences, how we were raised, our childhoods. And some of those narratives about money serve us. They're great. They are motivators. They are a good way to live our lives, while others are not so great. So for example, if you find yourself thinking,
Ugh, I'm bad with money.
you should maybe reframe that, rewrite that narrative to,
I'm learning more about money every day.
if you think,
I'll never understand investing. I'm too dumb to understand the stock market.
rewrite that narrative to,
The stock market is complex, but it is something I'm learning to navigate over time.
this is very cliche, but something you hear people say sometimes is, would you say these negative things to your best friend or to your mom or to your sister or to your cousin or people you care about? More likely than not, if it's someone you care about, you would not tell them that they're too stupid to learn the stock market or that they're bad with money. So if you're not going to tell that to someone you love, then make sure you don't tell that to yourself as well. You want to rewrite those narratives over time. And the easiest, simplest step to rewriting those narratives is to just start noticing them. For many years, I did not know that there was this thing that existed called a money story or a narrative that I had about money. So if you could just start identifying it, that is going to help you in the long run build your financial confidence as you continue to rewrite those narratives. Number 6, another way to improve your financial confidence is to stop identifying as broke. This might sound silly, but this is something that I noticed with my group of friends a couple of years ago. And this was especially with my close friends where we grew up together into adulthood, right? We struggled financially out of college. We had to figure out how to make money and how to get by without our parents. But what I realized is that there's almost like a culture of being broke. Right? We would share memes about not having money and always complaining about how expensive everything is. And we would poke fun at rich people just because. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times these memes are funny and mostly because they're relatable. No one loves inflation and the rising costs of things. And no one likes being broke. But sometimes it ends up being somewhat of a defense mechanism. I realized that I was identifying as broke because it felt comfortable, it felt normal, it felt like a way that I could bond with other friends over the struggle of not having money. But I realized that in doing that, I was also probably unintentionally normalizing not having wealth, being okay about my situation, and therefore not working to improve it. So I don't expect you to agree with me that this is a thing, but I think that it's a very simple habit that you can do that maybe next time you come across a meme or a joke about being broke, even if it's funny, maybe just don't like it, or maybe start liking those types of posts less. I think that over time, this can help build your confidence about your own financial journey because you'll start to believe more about what's possible for you in the future. And then maybe you'll start identifying as wealthy, as someone with abundance, as opposed to someone living in scarcity. All right, I've covered a few mindset habits as it relates to building your financial confidence. Now I'm going to talk about a couple of actionable habits which focus more on the practical side of your finances. So basically, these are actions you can take that directly impact your money. And because of that, it can also help build your financial confidence over time. Number 7, set a money date. Something that I've noticed with clients of mine is the people who don't check on their finances regularly tend to become overwhelmed by then, right? If you set up a budget and everything is great, everything's going well, and then life gets in the way, so you don't look at it for a week, that turns into a month, a couple months, maybe even a year. Not checking in on your finances and your financial system on a regular basis can create overwhelm, and that can directly erode your financial confidence. So a money date is just a meeting. Set a regular money date with yourself, even if it's once a week, once a month, something that's regular and consistent that is going to help you stay on top of your money and feel more in control. You can do so many things during this time block, whether that is actually paying bills or checking in on your budget. But it can also be the next habit on this list, number 8, which is learn something new every week. The fact that you're watching my video, this is a great start. This means you are proactively seeking out information and education as it relates to personal finances. I hope that you're also continuing to learn from other sources as well. And that's because there are a lot of voices, a lot of different approaches, and sometimes you have to hear something like 6, 7, 8 times before it really sinks in and before you actually start implementing change into your life. And the thing is, if you learn regularly, you're going to start to expand into new areas and new topics over time. If you're new with personal finance, maybe you're learning a lot more about budgeting methods and how to organize your financial accounts. And then as you start graduating into more complex topics, Maybe you start learning more about investing, the stock market, real estate, strategies for saving on taxes. If you can put in consistent effort to learning more about money, these subjects and finance in general will become second nature, and that will build so much financial confidence for you because you'll realize how much you actually do know. Number 9, another actionable, practical habit that will help build your financial confidence is to set up automation, specifically for saving money or investing money. If you're not already automating your savings or your investments, start with a small amount. Maybe that's $50 per paycheck, maybe $100 on the first of the month. Your goal is to consistently support future you. Savings and investments are what are going to build your financial security into the future. And the more financial security you have, the more confident you will be with money. These small deposits might not seem like a lot, but over time, that money will grow and compound, especially the money that is invested as opposed to the money that's in your savings account. There are different approaches to saving and investing depending on your own financial goals, but just know that doing this in the background and making it a part of your weekly, monthly life, it is going to build your money, your net worth, and then build your confidence into the future. All right, the last tiny habit I'm going to cover on this list, and this is very, very tiny, but I'm going to explain why I think it's very powerful. And that is to audit a recurring expense of yours. Here's what I mean. Choose something that you pay for regularly. Maybe that's your phone bill, a gym membership, your Netflix subscription. Whatever it is, it's something that you pay on a regular basis. I want you to look at what you spent on it over the last month or the last few months. And all you got to do is ask yourself, do I still value this thing at this price that I'm paying? And then decide whether you want to keep it or cancel it. The exercise itself on auditing an expense and a recurring expense, yes, it's going to save you some money if you decide to cancel something and to stop paying for something. But the reason this is a tiny habit that will build your financial confidence is because what you're doing is you're taking more control over your day-to-day financial decisions. It is a reminder that you have control of your money. You are the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer of your financial life, and you get final say. Small side note, I work with financial clients, and something that I see often is they have a bunch of expenses, and when we talk about what value those expenses bring into their lives, they can't really pinpoint it, but they're basically like,
No, I can't cancel that. Like, no, I can't do that. No, that'd be too difficult.
And so the challenge really becomes figuring out why. Why is it so hard to change that or cancel that or stop paying for that? More often than not, when I have those conversations with clients, we somehow go on a path and end up with them realizing,
Oh, I guess I am in control. I guess I can cancel that or change that because I don't actually want that. I don't actually want to be paying for that.
so this is a small, tiny habit, small exercise that over time is going to continue reminding you that you are in control of your money. So that's the list. And let me remind you, you do not need to do all of these habits at once or at all. These are suggestions. I wanted to show you that you can take small, tiny actions on your finances, whether that is on your mindset with money or the practical side of it, things to actually do for your finances. And all of those things together, if you incorporate these tiny habits, they will build your financial confidence in the long run. Building your net worth, building your wealth, it's nice. It's nice to see that you have a lot of assets and a lot of money, but you also want to make sure that you are confident as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, peace out.